Hello, I'm Ashy. I have with me today Wah,
Hello.
and I also have Daz.
Greetings and salutations.
That was
So,
weirdly energetic from what I'm used to.
I mean,
You're
I'll
trying
take it.
something new?
No, not really.
So last
Just
week we
checking.
discussed the powerhouses that are their hybrid classes. This week I want to cover the two small groups, the alternate classes and the unchained classes. The alternate classes are like a variation of a parent class, like perhaps a regional variant or even an opposite, whereas the unchained classes are almost like fixes or patches to existing classes.
Right, well, yeah, they're patches to existing classes. But about 50% of it is nerf.
I don't know if it's fair to say 50%, but I think we can get into
Barbarian
that.
and Unchained Summoner are nerfs. Unchained Monk could potentially maybe be a nerf. Okay, Unchained Monk is a nerf if your DM listens to fucking Sean K. Reynolds and says, no, you can't many style master it. Because they didn't like that.
Let's get to that when we actually get to the Unchained. Let's start off with
Scream.
the alternate classes.
Screaming, shitting and crying.
So starting off with the anti-paladin, it is a nega paladin, whereas a
An
paladin,
anti-paladin, if you will.
right?
I think is the name self-explanatory.
So whereas a paladin buffs and heals itself and allies, the anti-paladin instead has these auras that debuff enemies, and this touch attack that deals negative energy. It can heal undead, otherwise it has the same affinities as a paladin, being a D10 hit die, full BAB, and partial casting class.
Of note, it does also have inverted mercies, so rather than curing fatigue and blindness and all that, you start to be able to inflict them.
Yeah.
One of the nice ones is its ability to do contagion touch. Because an anti-paladin can carry a disease and incubate it without suffering the negative effects. There's going to be an upcoming campaign where I play one of these.
Yeah, he's looking forward to seeing me roll 50 or so fortitude saves every time he decides to touch something.
Fucking yes, I am!
I'm not looking forward to rolling 50 or so saving throws every time he touches something.
But wait, there's more. What about when I get the capacity to proc them all on hit each round without an incubation time or an onset time?
I am not looking forward to that either. That's gonna do some crazy things.
It is. It so is. I'm gonna watch things stats turn into slime and it'll be. Mwah.
But as one would expect, anti-paladin is pretty much the bad guy to the paladin's good guy, so it's mostly best used in an evil or selfish campaign.
That is true. You are locked to a chaotic evil alignment normally, with some archetypes dragging you out towards neutral, and I think one dragging you out towards lawful.
Yeah, lawful evil tyrant.
I don't mind it. In 3.5, we also had the variant paladin types. They did much the same
the blackguard.
thing. There was a paladin. No, there was just variant evil paladins. There was a paladin of tyranny. I only remember the lawful evil because it's the only one I ever played. There was paladin of tyranny, paladin of whatever neutral evil was, and chaotic evil, to give you the full spread of the lower end extremes.
Yeah, that was old 3.5 though.
It's funny that they get a bigger variety in alignments when paladins, for the most part, are just locked to good, and then there's an alignment. There's one that is like, oh yeah, you can be neutral good, but where your powers went to shit.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
Aasimar can get around that.
I know they can for monk. I don't know if they can for paladin.
Pathfinder traits: Enlightened Warrior.
It is pretty sad there's not a chaotic good paladin archetype. That would be pretty
cool. What was in 3.5? It was the Paladin of Freedom.
There is a speech class that's basically a teeny itty bitty 3-level sort of chaotic good paladin, but that's the only thing I can think of that equates.
I'll be entirely honest, I think the majority of DMs, especially if the DMs are from later editions or 3.5, specifically not for Pathfinder, would probably shift to allowing for the entire range. Honestly. There is precedent set to allow it. Why the fuck do only lawful good deities get paladins?
Because fuck you if you can't follow every single rule and be boring.
No ingenious answer here.
I'm just saying that fuck it, open up the entire good aligned and evil aligned and behold them to their deity's teachings, and it works.
Yeah, so I suppose maybe, but yeah, that's purely on a DM by DM basis.
I suppose. I mean, yes, it is. But also, I think I was about to say most DMs are reasonable, and they're fucking not. There's a lot of bad DMs out there, just like there's a lot of bad players. You are, but you're not most DMs. You let us get away with insane bullshit. Way too much. You need to rein us in sometimes.
Damn.
Begging the DM for a leash. I don't know if that makes me. What does that make me?
Okay,
Someone aware of their.
Oh, fucking hell,
fuck?
It makes you aware of your own power scaling due to your knowledge of the system.
I think you might have just killed the recording with the fucking sheer garbageness of your audio quality.
That shocked the hell out of me.
You have just killed the recording.
Let's keep going. It's fine. Hey, welcome,
Yeah, I'm
Nerdy.
not certain.
Nerdy.
Welcome.
Oh, this off a bridge. Excuse me.
Wow. That is one of the other players.
That was the worst audio quality I've heard from him this week.
Holy fuck, Nerdy. Why is he so bad? What is...
It sounded like he was deep-throating the mic.
Anyway.
Alright,
Thanks, Nerdy. Right, back to what we were saying. Fuck me.
So, if we're done on anti-paladin, I'll move on to ninja.
Alright.
So next up is the ninja. It's an alternate class for rogue. It fixes rogue in some aspects, in that it fills rogue with more class features, like a key pool. It has access to a different pool of tricks than the rogue's rogue talents.
But I think they can also dip into rogue talents if they really want to.
There's a way, yes.
I think we've just hit that point where we're pointing out another class that if you want to play a rogue, actually play a ninja.
Yeah, it has
unless you're unrogue.
Unchained rogue is also pretty good.
It has basically the same affinities as a rogue. D8 hit die, medium BAB, and a fuck ton of skill points. It is a charisma scaling class, however. So unlike with rogue, you are encouraged to support charisma over the other two mental stats. And by default, it doesn't have rogue trap finding, which might be a point in rogue's favor.
I mean, let's be fair. The ninja is what you pick when you've watched a little too much anime and you don't want to play a regular rogue. You want to play that dude running around with the fucking katana and throwing ninja stars. Because overall, you fill the exact same niche as the rogue, except that for some strange reason, ninjas can't find traps as well.
If someone shows up in bright orange and insists on ninja running.
Have you seen half of the art of my characters?
No comment.
Okay, but, I will point out that most parties tend to either forget they have it or, in the moment, don't really think about trap finding, and that's what the barbarian is for.
Ah, yes. Headlong, charge, we'll find the traps on the way through.
I mean, I know when I played a D12 hit dice class, that's what I did. Walk up to door, kick it. If door explodes, we'll ask cleric for a heal when we're done killing whatever's on the other side of this door.
Barbarians get trap sense where they get to be forewarned that there might be traps near.
It doesn't work
Trap
the same.
sense, yeah, trap sense basically just gives them a buff to their like reflex if a trap explodes. It's kind of crap.
It makes them slightly better at mitigating traps that they encounter.
The best mitigation is to throw the rogue at it.
No, the best mitigation is to let the barbarian just run through them all. What are you talking about?
I think I'm with Dez on this one.
Well,
Taking
agree
no
to
effect
disagree.
from a trap is a better case than laughing at the barbarian for hitting it.
I just disagree.
Actually, think on that, it's kind of funny to laugh at the barbarian.
I was about to say, what's the more funny option?
Letting Wah bumble into it because he will.
Yeah, well, I can know it's there and I'll still bumble fuck into it.
Yes!
For the bit.
You remember that one time you killed Shaz's cleric?
I did. I know there's a trap here, but my character doesn't, so I'm gonna bumble. Oh, that's a prismatic spray.
That actually
someone's dead.
That actually makes me think of the meme of Aragorn standing there, and it's like, when the experienced player fails the perception check, they know there's a trap here, but their character doesn't. For the bit.
The bit. No,
Classic.
absolutely. You've got to do the bit. Else it just becomes a deluge of, well, I suspect / no, it's there even though I didn't make it, so I'm gonna waffle around it. It grinds a campaign to a halt and it's boring. You've got to go for the bit.
It's kind of the same thing when a DM asks you how you're opening the door. Like, if they ever just suddenly ask how you're opening the door, suddenly you'll get a bunch of players that are like, well, I mean, I'm standing to the side, and it's like, no, you didn't know there's a trap on this door. You just fucking turn the handle, you open it. If it
God,
explodes in your...
That sounds like Mia. That's a Mia thing to do, trying to fucking weasel word their way out to a fucking consequence.
Which way do you turn the key inside of the door?
I mean, there's
right
also
way.
the whole, when the DM answers with as far as you know, it seems to be safe. You know, you've got to train your players with vague language so they don't fucking spot shit like that. That's what I
Either
think.
that or just have players that don't fucking metagame and accept the fact that you failed the roll, we're playing a dice game, fucking explode.
I think I've got a 50% chance on that, because I will point out that, no, I think there's a trap here, I'm pretty fucking sure there is. Anyway, step.
Well, see, that's fine, though, if you're gonna set it off.
So the line is drawn at metagaming, and then trying to get out of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, so we've established that. Shit, we were talking about ninjas 5 minutes ago.
We were
Yeah,
talking
but
about
they can't-
ninjas.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, until we go into the actual class breakdown, it's like, just play Unrogue.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're a weeb.
Sure.
Well, okay, but Unchained Rogue, most of what Unchained Rogue was built out of is basically the fucking ninja. Because that's the original class that got its dex to damage basically built into the class.
No.
Did ninjas get that?
I don't think ninjas get that.
Oh,
They do get an extra
Lit-
attack with their key pool, though. So that's kind of
The
nice.
main build for ninja is literally take the flurry of fucking ninja stars, tricks, and then just throw ninja stars until the thing is
Oh.
dead. You go
You're
first,
right.
and you sneak attack everything on the battlefield.
uh-huh. You are right. It is the Unchained Rogue that just gets inherent dex to damage.
What a good
Yeah, just play an
ability.
Unrogue, fuck it. Fuck ninja, piss off.
Hey, they still make good spies and assassins. But also unrogue.
No,
we'll
ninja's
cover
a
that
good class.
later. Yeah. It's good.
So, next on the list... Wait.
So,
Next on the list is third-party classes.
yes, laughing at how it is arranged. So the next thing is actually going to be Samurai. We mentioned Samurai briefly because Wah thought that Samurai was a Cavalier. And
I did.
he's not far off in a sense. They have mostly the same set of abilities, the same sort of affinities, they have a mount. They differ in that they don't get teamwork feats, and they don't have the ability to share those innately. And instead they gain mechanics like Resolve, and they gain some bonus feats. I'll cover what all Resolve does in a Samurai dedicated video, unless someone starts blurting out what it does.
I mean, I can be a bit honest on this one. Whereas a Cavalier is kind of a let's spread the joy kind of class, a Samurai is kind of a stand and deliver class with their Resolve. Almost
Yeah,
all
they're-
of their Resolve just makes them harder to put down.
They're a very selfish variant of Cavalier. But with their challenge and their banners and stuff, they're also very good duelists.
True.
Like, they are pretty solid at pointing out someone on the battlefield and then dunking them like Master Yi.
They also get that cool mounted archer ability, which is probably something you'll never see used.
Do they? Where?
Yeah,
Where's Mounted Archer? Oh
yeah,
shit, it's 4th level. What the fuck is Mounted?
yes.
Wait, they get a mount?
Yes,
Yes, I do, I
Samurai
said
with the
this!
unmounted version.
No!
I am so wrong about everything Cavalier and Samurai.
You
I'm
are.
just so wrong.
Yep. Yep.
I'm done. Fuck this class. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's making me look stupid.
Just look at it this way. You're not a weeb, so you never looked into it much. We just
True.
won't talk about all the anime you watch.
We'll just.
I only watch very specific anime, unless Peaky Blinders
haven't-
is a fucking anime.
You have an anime night.
It'll be fun one day to talk about Warrior Poet and what is it, Sword Saint? Those will be fun to talk about one day.
Oh, I love Warrior.
Oh,
Poet.
Warrior
What
Poets
the
are cool.
What the fuck's a Warrior Poet?
Warrior Poets are cool.
Samurai that basically ditches its armor and gets its charisma to its AC, but it also gets access to a couple of cool abilities, like the ability to Vital Strike after using Spring Attack.
You know the thing
Oh,
that they allowed and they
And-
disallowed and they haven't re-allowed it.
And they can also like increase their movement speed because they pick these flourishes, and you can pick this one 3 times, which will increase your movement speed by 10 each time. So in the end, you're moving around not quite as fast as a monk, and dropping vital strikes at the end, or greater vital strikes at the end of a frickin' spring attack.
How many ways is there to stack charisma to AC now? How
Several.
many? How
Too
many of
fucking
those
many.
Because
Several.
they got rid of the basically nerfed the shit out of the feet that let you do it. Or is that charisma
Well-
to saves?
In this case, you're not allowed. Yeah, that was charisma to saves, but in this case, you're it's limited for some weird reason. You can
Probably
only do
that
it up
reason.
to. You can only do it up to your warrior poet level. So it's not worth a 1 level dip. Not like the monk, the scaled fist, where you just pick it and then there you go.
I hate it.
That's
I
fine.
hate charisma to AC so
You're allowed
much.
to hate things,
I fucking hate it.
even if your hatred is irrational.
It is irrational. I still hate it.
Yep.
I'm generally not one to be like, oh, that is so cheesy. You're ruining my roleplay with your roleplay. But this one, the one specific instance of stacking fucking charisma to AC is just like, oh my fucking god.
The
Oh,
power of
and they
personality
also-
deflecting swords.
Warrior poet also gets the bard's versatile performance, so they're kind of meant to be a poet, but more of a frontliner than a bard, where they're supporty. Well,
Yeah.
warrior poet is stabby.
Is it like, this is starting to sound like it's a scald without the scald's inherent problems of no one wanting the buff?
Yeah, well, in this case, it doesn't give a buff. Its buff is I jump at the enemy and make it dead.
So you
I
could
buffed
warrior
our-
poet a scald.
But possibly
You could.
cross-class warrior poet into scald.
I think
Good.
honestly, you'd probably cross-class the diva bard archetype to go like the heavy armor, 2-handed weapon, like barbarian style, and then warrior poet. No, because you give up your armor. That's stupid. What am I talking about? Let's move on.
Alright.
All right. Hey, actually, the next time we do a video, you need to put up a counter on the screen, and you need to have a was stupid counter.
I mean, I could make one and just start adding it to this video.
Could do
You
that. All right, get editing, boy, girl,
You know.
whatever.
So,
Yeah,
Well, that
Now
just
we'll get
costs us
into-
half of our viewers.
we'll get into the Unchained classes. So, Unchained Barbarian, it's fairly side grade. It changes
say side
fundamentally how Barbarian Rage works, and it isn't strictly a nerf. It does have its own list of Barbarian Rage powers that it pulls from, which you may very well consider being a nerf since it loses access to some Rage powers, and many other Rage powers have been changed. It does have some otherwise unique Rage powers, and some of them you might consider interesting. Otherwise, you have the same attributes as the old Barbarian, the D12 hit die, full BAB, being a frontline martial.
Unfortunately, its rage doesn't actually give them a boost to con or strength. It just gives them a flat number.
Yeah.
Thus not
HP.
improving the saves associated with them.
That's true.
Or increasing carry capacity, or whatever else. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It does offset this theoretically by giving you a temporary HP bonus equivalent to the amount of con HP you would get. Again, you don't really get enough of it that it really matters. Temporary HP and these kind of shields will consider a hit a miss for the effect of on-hit effects, poison, blah 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 blah. If it doesn't penetrate.
That's specific to the shaman trick. Most
That's
HP.
specific to Shell?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a
I
shell
thought it was
specific
10
ability.
hit points.
No.
Wow, Shell is just good.
Shell's
Damn.
actually good, by the way.
So,
Fuck.
to add another little thing to it, yeah, the big other big problem with the Rage of Unchained Barbarians is the penalty. A normal barbarian is, 1 round per round they were raging. They're fatigued after the fight. But with the Unchained, it's a minute no matter what. Great if you go beyond 10 rounds for some reason. But
Man, if you're in a fight that's lasted 10 rounds and your barbarian is still raging for those 10 rounds, you are probably fighting the final boss of the campaign. You are actually probably fighting the big bad if you're in a fight for more than 10 rounds.
Or you're fighting a creature that's immune to your attacks, but the DM is creatively making you think that it's not immune to the attacks because it's reacting to the attacks, and you only realize it 10 rounds later.
Has actually done that to us? I know Z's done it to us. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
2 DMs who's punked me with that trick. Fuck.
Yeah, remember on the boat?
I can't
I
believe
don't-
you exposed me like that.
Wait, remember the boat? Is that the one with the anti-luck pirates that turned all my luck abilities against me?
No, the Chilaxian slave ship that wasn't even supposed to be part of the campaign.
The anti-paladin that had bulwark style and was blocking things that he was immune to bait the party into wasting resources.
And it turns out he was a fucking grave knight.
Yes.
That fucker. Okay.
Yep.
And doing non-lethal damage so you wouldn't be able to determine how screwed up the front line was because they weren't accounting for non-lethal damage in the same way that they were accounting for lost HP.
The DM's a dick sometimes, by the way. Fucking hell. You've made me actually want to have a real smoke.
You're welcome.
I'm putting down the vape.
Alright. So back
I
to
need
Unchained
real
Barbarian.
nicotine. Fucking hell.
I think the last thing that I want to say about it is they do have access to stance rage powers, which are actually pretty cool. They last for the entire rage when they're turned on. And they're unique to Unchained Barbarian. I just think that's kind of neat. If anyone else has anything to say about Unchained, we'll move to the monk next.
No, let's go.
So, the Unchained Monk is an interesting case. Unlike the base monk, the Unchained Monk has become a proper frontliner, with full BAB and a D10 hit die. A lot of its abilities have been changed in a fundamental way. I'd say this class is a stronger class overall than the base class,
Oh, absolutely.
though there may be still a merit to using the old one. Though
Well,
Old Monk was widely considered one of the worst classes in the game.
We've sort of hit that point now where you just have an objectively better stat line, a baseline, better distribution of saves, sort of. Better hit dice, better to hit. Generally a better selection of powers as well between the style strikes and stuff. The old monk, still absolutely the king of doing weird jank shit, but that is also very specifically down to Sean K. Reynolds. Because the many style master that allows you to fuse style feats into one singular style up to generally 3 of them, but you can also do some weapon focus stuff with another different feat to then chain another to it so you can get up to 4. Plus 1, whatever you can get.
Should I get a John K. Reynolds mention counter?
Look, he's the one in the fucking forum saying, no, we on the dev team have decided we don't like this, so we're saying, no, you can't do it. Despite the fact you can Many-Style Master, the unmonk, and make a truly monstrous beast.
Yeah.
You know, where you go, Boar style, Dragon style, whatever. My personal favorite being Panther style, Snake style, Dragon style. And then
Panther
you get
style,
caught,
snake
you
style,
know,
they
you
are
get
pretty
yourself
fucking
up to
funny.
like 36 attacks of opportunity and retaliatory attacks that happen before the attack that triggered them. There's a lot of things going on with it. It's great. The DM will hate it, which is why you should do it.
So we go on a merry wall setup. and
Flying sidekicks straight through all the enemies. They try and AOL you to hit you. Well, no, you start slapping them for the, hubris of trying to hit you on the way past, and start slapping there to hit more every time you do. So no, they're not hitting you. They just thought they were.
Yeah, it's a very enthusiastic walk.
It is a definition of the stop hitting yourself build.
But yeah, Unchained Monk. It's basically better at doing everything Monk wants to do, and it does. Kind of like how Brawler's also just better at doing everything Monk wants to do.
I would still prefer a base monk over a brawler, actually.
Really? You'd take base monk over Brawler?
Right, yes, because there's a very specific reason for that. My brain is too small and too smooth to make good use of versatility. I'd feel bad taking the class.
Yes, that's fair. I can't argue that. That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
When you basically have to have like 4 sheets on the side of all the feats and their interactions, just like ready to go.
Yes, exactly. So no, I would choose a regular monk over a brawler because I would feel too stupid playing that class for the specific reason that I am too stupid to play that class.
It's funny to play the dude that runs up and punches things in various ways. It's actually just hard to do because you have to remember too much.
When you've got those fucking players over there because they think they're so clever playing the wizard. Oh yes, they're going to push their glasses up the nose. Meanwhile, that brawler player over there probably has a PhD.
I mean, obviously, if you're playing a wizard, not an arcanist, you're definitely an idiot.
Right?
No, that's probably fair.
So what we're saying is wizard mains are actually peanut heads. Got it. 3 heads all the way.
Well, if we had any wizard enthusiasts,
let's
subscribe.
Just keep decreasing the viewer count.
Hell yeah.
Below the 0 that it is.
Yes.
Ooh, that hurt me. Ow.
Hey, we're suffering with you for this ride.
Hey, look, we can't hemorrhage viewers if we don't fucking have any.
True. Alrighty. I think we should move on then.
Where are we?
Unchained Rogue.
Unchained Rogue, the good ninja. As decided 10 minutes ago.
It's basically a fix to Rogue. In a lot of cases, it's just strictly better. Old Rogue didn't really get a lot of abilities, and Unchained Rogue is chock full of new toys that helps the Rogue in combat without really losing any toys that made them useful outside of it. It does give you a smaller list of Rogue talents to pull from, though it is still quite a long list, and it's definitely worth the power that just Unchained Rogue gives you over base Rogue.
And let's be fair, the powers that they dropped were kind of the crappy ones anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's that finesse training. That finesse training is one of the most appealing things just on a class list I have ever seen. Because everyone who plays a dex-based... everyone who wants to play a dex-based martial, they're always fishing for the slashing grace. They're always like, how can I get my dex to damage? How can I do it? How can I?
Take 3 levels.
This class just gives it you. Level 1, it gives you weapon finesse. 3rd level, you select any one type of weapon, probably your primary weapon type that you like to use, rapiers or daggers, and you get your dex to damage.
I also like that I figured out a neat way to make it go from Unchained Rogue right into Arcane Trickster without having to slip into any of them wizardry classes.
I mean Eldritch Scoundrel.
Yep. By level 4 too, because you just gotta grab that the feat that will increase your sneak attack.
Are you going? Wait, I'm going to start thinking about that whole you can use racial spell likes to start qualifying for things. Didn't they get rid of that at some point?
Yes.
Which is why you've got to do the fuckery.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Damn. I hoped you were going to tell me I was wrong.
I mean, let's look at it this way. If it was a fun and cool thing to do, they either turned it into a feat or got rid of it.
Sean K. Reynolds!
Yeah, that's the third time you've mentioned him in this video. unless you count specific instances.
I don't know, this is one of those, which is going to be the higher one. Ragging on Reynolds, or my stupidity counter. Which one will be higher by the end of this?
To be honest, I'm hoping it'll be the stupidity counter. But I'm not confident in that. You being stupid is just funnier, let's be honest.
Yeah, I suppose. Better than the ever-increasing disgruntledness from being relatively gruntled.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Unrogue, there we go.
Yeah, there was a thought that came to mind regarding Warrior Poet again. You know that one archetype we mentioned back with Samurai?
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you talking about the Weeburai?
No, I'm not gonna get full into Weeburai. I'm just gonna mention,
Okay.
So, how would you like to weapon finesse a glaive, a katana, or a naginata?
Oh my god, yes.
Two-handed dex weapon.
Two-handed dex
You
weapon
can
into 3 levels of unrogue to get dex to damage. Two-handed.
You can select any one type of weapon that can be used with weapon finesse, and those are like the Elven Curve Blade can be. You can dex a glaive. You can weapon finesse a glaive?
Only if you're a warrior poet. Warrior poet gets graceful warrior. Warrior poet gains weapon finesse as a bonus feat and can apply it to glaives, katanas, and naginatas as if they were light weapons.
Shit, there might actually be a good build here.
There might be.
There might
might be
actually
really
be
funny.
something particularly funny in this. We'll review it later. Time to theory craft something fucking disgusting.
Yep.
Anyways,
I'll yeet the archetype at you.
Cheers.
Anyways,
It's archetype. Archetype. It's not archetype. There's a fucking E after the H. It's archetype. I've been saying it for like 6 videos now and it's driving me mad.
the British guy is like getting mad at us for being bad at English.
Yes. Anyway.
All right. So I have a belief that this next one might get a ranger out of the box and might get put into the box. Unchained Summoner.
No, Unchained Summoner is a nerfed one because you get like something like 30% less evolution points by the end. But it is still not worse than the Ranger. It is still a decent class, purely, entirely on the merit that the Eidolon is still a broken piece of shit.
I don't know. I still think that Vampire Hunter deserves to sit in the box perpetually.
Should we expand the box?
We'll give
I
the
thought
penalty
you said-
box and have a second seat.
I thought the
We'll
penalty box was only
expand-
allowed to have 1 seat. That was kind of established in a previous video.
No, only because I never thought about expanding.
Okay.
What we need to do is do what Warhammer did, and we'll make a demi-plane where Horus and Malal lives, and we can just start chucking shit in. And because the squats got out and got unsquatted, there is precedent for things being rescued from it, only if they redeem themselves later.
You mean like Witch?
Yes.
Who I don't think deserves to be in the box to begin with, because it's actually a decent class. Actually, probably a good class.
It just didn't exist before we talked about Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, we had to get it. We had to get it out to actually establish that it existed.
Okay. So Unchained Summoner
Don't think about it too hard.
is widely considered just a nerf, as I understand it.
It is.
On the Summoner side, it weakens your spell list considerably. It makes it smaller and less flexible. And on the Eidolon side, you pick a type of Eidolon, and that type of Eidolon restricts your abilities and your base shapes to a specific set, which takes away a lot of customization.
Wow, you were struggling.
Yes, I struggle from time to time.
Okay.
And the benefit is that your Eidolon gets a set of buffs and bonuses based on its type as you level. It is kind of flavorful, but it's at the expense of the raw power and the flexibility offered by the old summoner.
So what we're saying is, it's effectively it's a burger from Burger King. It's flavorful. It's not that bad, but it's got all the nutritional value of cardboard.
That's an interesting way to put it. I would say
yeah,
it's flavorful, but less mechanically sound. Like, it's still a decent functional class, but that's only because it's built off of Summoner, which is considered a little bit busted.
It's the three-star Michelin. It's the three-star Michelin restaurant class where they serve flavored air at you and some foam.
Oh my god.
I mean, honestly, though, I just do not feel that the Eidolon saves this enough. If your DM isn't allowing normal summoner, Unchained is not very good as an alternative.
Here's the thing, though. Didn't we end up in a campaign? It might have been Z who ruled that we were only using on Summoner. Was that Z?
The only times I've seen Summoner played with that group was Shaz playing it on that one character where he had, like, a sort of Ifriti summon.
Yeah, he was the fat merchant guy with his two little genie children. And there was Crom, but my summoner only existed because I was playing Kineticist and the entire party at one point went, okay, you did too much damage, you need to change right the fuck now. So my Kineticist powers emerged from me into an Eidolon.
Excuse you, I was a part of that party, I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Okay, except you. The DM didn't like the 300 damage I just dropped. 2 of the players didn't like the 300 damage I just dropped. And 2 were indifferent, which is you and Shaz.
I was excited about the number until I realized, ah, shit, that's the end of Crom's like tenure because the other people don't like that as much.
We both at the exact same moment went, oh, I just hit 300. Oh fuck, that's it, he's done. We both knew what was coming.
Yeah, sad
should
times.
not have done. All right, I'm gonna do maximized empowered. Oh, I crit. Welp.
Yep.
Kineticist is a good class if you actually just want to finger of God everything off the field systematically.
Yeah,
we'll be doing that probably next week.
Yeah, it'll be mentioned next week when we talk about. They're not psionics; they're occult classes. The occult classes.
The classes that are, for the most part, going to require us to do research because I don't think any of us know them very well, other than Kineticist.
The Kineticist, having been played many times, and every single campaign it's in, forcibly retired because it does too much fucking damage.
I've seen 2 of the classes played. Wait, 3 of the classes played. I saw a Psychic once, but he wasn't in very long.
It wasn't in very long, and it was utterly terrible. The class is... Let's keep going with this. I will tell everybody how garbage it is next week.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Save some for next week.
But yeah, that was most of what I had to say about the Unchained Summoner. It lost power on both sides. It became a shell of itself.
Don't play it. It's
pretty
bad. It's bad.
We should just take it behind the shed and fucking execute it. It just needs putting down. The poor thing's in agony.
No, it makes for a great trap card for when the player wants to play a summoner and doesn't realize the difference between an Unchained Summoner or a Summoner. And it's probably better for a newer player to play an Unchained Summoner than an old Summoner, because having less flexibility and more strict options means that there's less room for them to screw up.
I fucking hate that mentality where new players are treated to be stupid. It's why 5th edition's so popular. Oh, you're gonna run 5th edition because it's easier and simpler and blah. Stop treating them like fucking babies.
Alright.
But I'm gonna counter that with...
Oh, that hurt. I felt that too.
Look, some players are beyond fucking saving and they go out of their way to very specifically not have fun and make it not their fault. They go out of their way to not have fun because it's not going exactly as they want it to in any given situation. That's not anything's fault other than the player's fault. Actually, it does fall under that. Maybe I do need to relook at Spiritualist and just blame him instead. No, that's admitting weakness.
So anyways, do you have any closing thoughts?
Unchained Summoner bad.
40% of the Unchained is nerfs. The rest is buffs.
mean, Unchained Rogue, Unchained Monk are both buffs.
Yeah.
Unchained Summoner is a nerf. I still think Barbarian is kind of side grade. It's not strictly worse, it still does everything what a Barbarian does. It does have less options.
I think it's strictly worse.
And its rage is less flavorful.
I don't care about the flavor. If the mechanic, if the actual numbers behind it make me scowl. I like a healthy mix of both. I don't want the flavored gastropub air. Yes, I could have the molecular gastronomy of barbarians. Unfortunately, there's no fucking substance to it. I don't want my flavored egg foam smoked under a bowl. I know far too much about molecular gastronomy.
Yeah, you know a bit more than I was expecting
I
you to
actually know quite a lot about it.
A part of me wants to know why, and the rest is like, yeah, alright,
No.
this seems about standard.
No.
I have nothing more to add.
Alright. So if you like what we do, leave a like, and if you want more, please subscribe. Goodbye.
No.
Bye.